Okay. Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Okay.
Yeah, good evening, sir.
So good evening to everyone. How was the exam last week? Did you get your marks?
No, sir.
Yeah.
No, sir. Sir, who got the highest, sir, in the test?
Actually, the marks are not good. That's why I did not publish them. I thought you'll have some problem at home if I publish them.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Definitely. Sir, but tell us who got the highest, sir. Sir, the paper was tough.
Paper was tough and paper had negative marking also. So many of you got lost many negative marks. Okay.
Sir, why, sir? It had negative marking also.
Yes, it had negative marking. I wrote it. No? I wrote it down. So anyway,
Sir, can you just show us our marks? We will see and we will not compare.
yeah, what I'll do, I don't want actually. I saw that students are feeling a little pressurized due to exam. I did not want that. So what I'll do, I'll send everyone's marks personally, individually, so that no one feels too much pressurized or anything. Okay. But I'll tell you the highest marks are 76, and two students got above 70. But after that, no one got around that marks.
Sir, who are those two students?
No, that's what, better not compare these things. So because ultimately everyone should have a learning experience. But it's not you, don't worry. So I did not want that comparison. So I'll send the marks personally rather than I put it then everyone comparing. But then some students I saw that because they lost a lot of negative marking. So be careful with negative marking. Okay. Should we discuss anything from that question paper or should we just continue with polynomials?
Sir, I have a doubt. And that question paper.
Okay. One second. Yes. Which question?
Sir, the seventh one. Sir, the seventh. Yeah.
Okay. Log 5 to the base 5.
And sir, the 22nd one also.
Okay. We'll go on. So you have log 5 to the base 40. Actually, for answering this question, you require at least basic knowledge of log. I mean, you should know some values of log. Do you guys know what is the value of log 2?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Yeah. This is actually 0.
Sir, I got it option 1.
Answer is fine, but see, this basic knowledge is required for solving that. Log 2 is approximately equal to 0.3. To be more precise, it is 0.3010, but you can neglect this part and say it is 0.3. Okay.
Sir, can you send this chart of log 2, 3 and...
No, it is not useful. I don't want students to memorize these things because that is not how we work. We don't want to remember too many things. It's not like multiplication table, no, you have to remember. It's not like that. Generally in exams, whenever you need to know the value, it is given in the paper. You're not expected to remember all this. But in this paper, I guess there was no mention. That must have made it a little tough. Okay, yeah, there's no mention in this paper. So the value of log 2 is 0.3. Does anyone know what is the value of log 3? What is the value of log 3? No one knows? Okay, I get it. All of you are very new to this. So log 3 is approximately 0.477. Now, believe me, it might seem very fascinating, but using these two, you can find the approximate values. You can find the approximate values of all other log x. You get it now? For other log x where x belongs to natural numbers. How I want you guys to tell me. If you know that log 2 is 0.3, what is the value of log 4?
Sir, log.
Sir,
That,
Sir, log.
sir, can I tell sir
0.6.
0.6?
Raise your hand. Yeah, Nairith, tell me, Nairith. How much?
Sir, log 2 square, and then we can write as 2 log 2, and then 2 into 0.3. That is 0.6.
0.6. Very good. Okay. Second question. What is log 5? Who can tell me what is the value of log 5? Raise hands if you can tell. One second. Yeah, Shrijita, you can tell.
Is it? It's just my guess. Log 2 plus log 3.
No. Arre. Others, see, can it be log 2 plus log 3? What is log 2 plus log 3 equal to? Log 2 into log 3. It becomes 2.
Log 6.
Yeah.
6.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, so not right answer. Who can answer? Swapnabit. Tell me, Swapnabit. How can you find the value of log 5?
Sir, I was too thinking that, but I now have to think it.
Anyone else? Where are all the smart people? Anushrita or others? Anyone can answer? Okay. Yeah. So there's an interesting story behind this one. Anyway, this can be written as log of 10 by 2. Now can someone tell me? Not yet. Raise hand if you can tell right now. Anyone can tell now? Can raise hand.
So log 10 minus log 2.
So what is that value?
Sir, can I say?
Yes.
0.7.
How? Ashmita, how?
Sir, log 10 by 2 means log 10 base 10 minus log 2. Log 10 base 10 means 1, and log 2, as you said, it's 0.3. So 1 minus 0.3 gives 0.7.
sir, is log 10 1 equals to 1?
Yeah.
Log 10 base 10.
See, because log 10, if base is not mentioned, you should take as 10. Na?
Oh, yes, sir. Okay.
This is one. So actually, if you take 0.3, it becomes 0.7. But in books, you'll see they take 0.3010. Then in that case, the answer becomes 0.6990. Okay. So that's why I use this symbol. What does this symbol mean? You remember?
Sir, approximately equal to.
Yeah. This symbol means
Approximately.
approx. Okay. So log 6, everyone will be screaming the answer, I know. So I'm not going into log 6. But then log 7. Can anyone tell log 7? I remember when I was in my 9th class.
Sir, I can tell.
Yeah. It will be very good if you can tell me how you can tell.
Sir, log 2 plus log 2. No, sir. I again did the same thing.
Anushrita, tell me. Anushrita wants to tell.
1 minute.
So can I try?
Yeah, sure.
So I'm just trying. I'm not sure. Log 14 minus log 2.
Okay, but you don't know the value of log 14, no? This is not known, no? This is known, but anyway, good try.
Sir, can I say? Oh, no. Sir, I thought to do log 10 minus log 3. No, it's not possible.
So I'll tell you, in my 9th class, when I was sitting like you, our maths sir asked this question, and he told if anyone solves this, is able to guess this, he gave us 1 day time, and no one was able to solve. He told if someone is able to get the approximate, he promised he'll give a big chocolate. There was a chocolate called Silk or something, I don't remember. He told he'll give that chocolate. Trust me, no one is able to do this. All the other things, people were very intelligent, they did it, but log 7 is not. Or now I'm coming down in the same.
You can give us a one day time.
Yeah. I'm coming down in the same discyclic succession. I'm giving all of you 1 day time, okay? Take 1 day time and don't search on Google, okay? Because that is cheating. And try to explain logically.
So can you explain the value of log 6?
Okay, yeah. Explain logically and try to get the approx value, okay? Approximate value.
Sir,
Excuse me,
when are we
sir.
supposed to say the answer of log 7? Tomorrow or day after tomorrow?
By tonight, last time I gave question, that log question, many of you answered by night. So as soon as possible. Okay, let us come to Hiya's doubt. Hiya is asking how to get log 6. Can anyone help your friend? Log 6. What is log 6? Log 6 can be written as
Log 2 into log 3.
What is log AB here? Yes. Here
Log A.
Yes, sir.
What is log A into B? Can I say it is log A plus log B?
Log 2 plus log 3.
Yeah. Okay.
It will approximately be 1.5.
1.5.
Oh no, sir. 0.1.
7.77.
It will approximately be half of that. Okay. This is okay here, Sarkar?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So actually all these details are required for solving such questions. So now in the exam you are asked log 5 to the base 40. The same thing you can write as 1 by log 40 to the base 5. Okay. Now 1 by log 40 can be written as 8 into 5 to the base 5, which is 1 by log 8 to the base 5 plus 1. Is that okay?
So how did you do that?
See, log AB, na? Log
Sir,
A.
log 8 plus log 5.
Yes, log A plus log.
Log 8 to the base 5 plus log 5 to the base 5.
Yes, sir. I understand.
Is this okay?
Yes, sir.
Is this okay?
Yes, sir.
Now I'm just substituting the values. 3 into 0.3.
0.9.
1 minus
0.
0.3.
Sir, 0.9 divided by 0.7. 9 by 7.
9 by 7 is approximately 16.
Yes, sir. 16 by 7.
So 7 by 16. Let us see what are the options. 7 by 16. Which option is closest? 7 by 16. 7 by 16 is it is smaller than half because 8 by 16 is half, isn't it? So it is smaller than half. Is that okay? Is that okay?
Yes, sir.
And at the same time,
Yes, sir.
greater than 1 by 3. Or you can just divide, you'll get. Answer should be A. Is that okay?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
What are the other doubt?
So can you move to the previous
Answer
page?
20-second one. 20-second one.
Someone wanted to see this.
Sir, I have a doubt in the. Sir, I wanted to know the answer of 11th. I got it 0. Sir, because tan 45 is 1 degree. Sorry, 1.
Yeah,
So,
Yes, the answer is 0, sir.
Yes, the answer will be 0 only.
0.
okay, done. Anushrita, you are asking, no? Is it fine? Everyone is done copying?
Yes, sir.
Right. So question 22, Nairit was asking. Log 1 to the base A. Log 1 to the base A. What is log 1 to the base A?
So, that is 0.
Zero.
No.
It is 0 only.
sir, any base to the power 1 is 0. Sir, I did not get this answer, sir. I felt that the options are not correct. Sir, I did not get this.
It's very simple. I'll do it. I can do it here itself. This is 0. Okay. This is fine. Log 1 to the base A is always 0.
Yes,
We
sir.
have to multiply with both the numbers.
No, here
Sir,
is
because-
adding, no? Log 1 to the base A plus log 2 square. And this is log 3 cube to the base 3 into 0. Into 0, no? So this is also 0. Plus log 2 square plus 3. Okay. The value of log 1 to the base A log 2 square 3. Something seems wrong. I think this
Yes,
is
sir.
2. This is 2 log 2 base.
Sir, this is 2. This is log 3.
2
to
and
the
3,
power-
then it is.
Yes, sir. Sir, we'll get 25.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
If we multiply both, we'll get 25. And the option is not given, sir.
No. Why are you multiplying? Who told you to multiply? You're just adding, no?
Sir, no sign is given here.
Yes, sir. No sign is given in between.
Where? Here.
Yes, sir.
That's why I'm taking it as multiplication. I'm sorry. Yeah, I wrote plus here. Yeah, it is multiplication. If nothing is mentioned, it should be taken as multiplication. Yeah, someone else raised hand. Someone raised hand. So I need down.
Used because there is no sign and there is no bracket also.
Yeah. What happened, Anushrita? Anushrita, you want?
Sir, if we follow the step which you did, then we'll get the answer as 7.
7. Yeah. That's what. So that's what something seems wrong. So I guess there's something wrong with the question in that case. Okay. Or else it's quite simple. There is nothing in this question. Is there anything to think of? Tell me.
Sir, how we'll get 7?
Right. This is 0. This is 2. This is whatever it is. This is 0. And since you're multiplying, the entire thing is 0. Even if you don't multiply, this is 3. This is 2. And this is 3. So this is 0 plus 2 plus 3. Because there is no sign, I'm taking multiplication. Plus. Okay. So you have 2 plus 2 plus 3.
2 plus 3.
Which is 7.
Oh, sir. I thought that the first one hole in bracket and the second one hole in bracket. Sir, if we take brackets for both the one, we'll get 25.
Yeah, I think there is some printing issue. Okay.
So how will you mark this?
I'll remove the question. Okay.
Okay, sir.
And I have a doubt in the 23rd one. Sir, what will be this?
Sir, me too. 23.
23. Okay. This is a good question. I think this year seniors will also struggle on this. Log 2 to the 2 by 3 to the base half. You have to compare with log half to the base 2 by 3. Okay, let us look at this. Log 2 by 3 to the base half. You have to compare with log half to the base 2 by 3. Is that okay? Actually, there are some rules which I did not go into details because I felt at 9th class level you don't have to know so much. But
Sir, what is the answer? Sir,
yeah, let me get into it. See, when the log's base, when you write log b to the base a, generally if the base is belonging to 0 to 1 and b is greater than 1, that implies that log b to the base a is negative. I'll explain. For example, let us say log 4 to the base half. What is log 4 to the base half? This can be written as 2 square and base half can be written as 2 power minus 1. Now, half can be written as 2 power minus 1. So what can we write this? What can we write this as? 2 by minus.
Sir, yes, sir. Log 2 to that is minus 2.
Is this clear?
How I got the answer as B is, sir.
Wait. We'll get to that question. I just observe this carefully. See till what? Let us just analyze log half. We are doing an analysis of. Let us analyze log b to the base half. Okay. Let us see what values it is taking for different values of b. Now, for these are the values of b and this is the value of log b to the base half. Okay. Now when b was equal to 4, what is the value of log b?
minus 2.
Minus 2, minus.
Yeah. Now if b is equal to 8, what is the value of log b to the half?
Sir, minus 3.
Minus.
Minus 4.
Minus 4.
Minus 1.
Zero.
0.
Just give me 1 second. And I'm just writing it on the other order. Okay. Till here it is clear. Now see, observe that we're decreasing the value of b. Now let us say we further decrease the value of b to half. Then what is the value?
1.
1.
Sir, 1.
1.
When b is 1 by
Sir,
4?
2.
2. 2.
Is everyone able to follow? See, log 1 by 4 to the base half is nothing but log of 1 by 4 can be written as half square to the base half. So now I can take 2 common outside, not common outside. This becomes log half to the base half, which is 1. Therefore it is 2. Is that okay? 1 by 8, it takes a value
3.
3.
so on and so forth. But what are we observing? Very important. See, we are considering a base which is a fraction. And when the base is a fraction and you're decreasing the value of b, the value of log is increasing. The value of b is decreasing. And corresponding value of log b to the base half is increasing.
Increasing.
So in later on in your higher classes, you'll be learning that such type of functions are called decreasing functions. Such functions are called, of course, I know right now you don't know what is the meaning of function also, but such sort of functions are called decreasing functions. There are many examples, like 1 by x. As you increase the value of x, the value of 1 by x will keep decreasing, isn't it? You're able to understand? You increase the value of x, the value of 1 by x decreases. So log x to the base a, when a is lesser than 1, is a decreasing function. So what do I mean by decreasing function? That means as you increase the value of x, the value of log x will decrease.
Decrease.
Yeah. Okay. This is the first point. Second point is, log a to the base a will be equal to 1, of course. So when the value of b becomes equal to the fraction, you are seeing that the value is 1. So when, then third point I am writing, when b becomes smaller than a, when the value of b, the moment the value of b becomes smaller than a, that implies log b to the base a becomes,
Will increase.
of course it will not increase, it keeps decreasing only, but it becomes positive.
So the second point I can't understand.
Second point, there is nothing fancy. Log a base a is always 1. Na?
Yes, sir.
Log a to the base is always 1.
Yes, sir.
Actually, second point, what I was trying to say, log a to the base a is 1 and log 1 to the base a is 0.
0.
Yeah. Yeah. See, I think just make a small modification. When b becomes lesser than a, this actually becomes greater than 1. Yeah. See, when b is becoming lesser than a, then the value of log x becomes greater than 1. That is more. Just write 1 here. Okay. And when b is becoming lesser than 1, the moment the numerator means x is also going to take fractional values, then log b to the base a starts becoming positive. Is that okay? Okay, I think some explanation is required here. Okay, I'll just explain, don't worry. Copy this down and I'll explain something more. Done?
Yes, sir.
Sir, 1 second.
So please wait.
Okay, I think I'll move on.
Okay, sir.
So actually, see, I'm giving a very huge clue how to understand. If anyone is facing problem understanding logarithms, how to understand logarithms, how to understand this topic logarithms more effectively. If anyone is having problem with this, then my suggestion is always think about logarithms as per its definition. What is its definition? If you have log a to the base b is equal to c, that implies a equal to
B to the power C equals to A.
See, if you think like this, you'll never have any confusion, any doubt, and all the proper, you will not go wrong anywhere in the properties also. So even today, some students were asking, sir, if a is 1, then is it 0? Yes, because when this is 0, if this is 1, then b power what will make it 1? 0. So that way you'll never have confusion. Or if you have a and b are equal, log a to the base a. If you have a equal to a power something, then what is that something? It has to be 1. So if you think in terms of the definition, I told in last class also, whenever you are facing difficulty in maths, go back to definitions. Okay? So if you think as per the definitions, you'll not get confused anywhere. Now even think about the fractions and you'll understand why this is happening. Why is it that log 2 to the base half is equal to minus 1? Why? Because 2 is expressed as half power something. Half when it is raised to what power will become 2? Okay. Now you see half can also be written as 2 power. Let us say this is some c. This can be written as 2 power minus 1. Half itself means it is 2 power something negative. So 2 is equal to 2 power minus 1 to the power c. That means if this is 1, then minus c should also be equal to 1. That means for the value of c equal to minus 1, isn't it? You'll get log 2 to the base half is equal to minus 1. So all this is quite simple, but I'm telling, initially, if you have this definition clear, then whenever you're becoming even a little confused, go back to the definition and start thinking. Okay. For example, what do you actually mean by log 3 to the base 10? Yes, I know its value is 0.477. We said this in the starting of the class, but try to think about it. What do we actually mean by that?
Sir, 10 to the power something gives 3. As
3.
answer.
Yeah, that means if your friend asks, if your friend is going to tell you 10 power x is equal to 3, can you find x? You'll tell yes, definitely I can. And what is that? That is log 3 to the base 10. So see, this is very beautiful because generally in childhood, we knew that 10 power 1 is 10 and we knew that 10 square is 100. But what about all the values in between 10 and 100? There are so many values now between 10 and 100. If 10 power 1 is 10, 10 square is 100, then 10 power something will also be 20. And that something has to be between
1 and 2.
1 and 2. Does it sound logical? If 10 power 1 is giving 10 and 10 square is giving 100, then something in between 1 and 2, if you raise that to the power 10, should give you 20. Does it sound logical? You see, it's very fascinating. This means using logarithms, we can actually find that something. If 10 power x is equal to 20, we can actually find that x. My dear friends, can you tell me what is that x? Can you tell that value?
Sir, log 20 to the base 10.
What is that?
So answer.
Answer 1 plus log 2 base 10.
थोड़ा वैल्यू बताइए मेरे खुशी के लिए. Tell me the value. Anyone?
Sir, 1.377.
1 point.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, everyone understood. See, if 10 power x equal to 20, that implies x is equal to log 20 base 10. And log 20 base 10 can be written as log 2 into 10 to the base 10, which is nothing but log 2 plus log 10. And log 10 is 1 and log 2 is 0.3. So this is approximately 1.3. See, this is so fascinating. Aren't you guys finding it fascinating? Am I the only one? See, 10 power 1 is 10 and 10 square is 100. But the story doesn't end there. You can go between the scenes. If you want to find 10 power something is going to give a value in between, you can actually find that something using the concept of logarithms. That is the beauty of logarithms. Are you guys able to appreciate logarithms?
Sir,
Yes,
can you
sir.
repeat that answer of log 20? Is it 1.3?
Yeah, you didn't understand how it's 1.3?
No, sir, I got the answer. I was just clarifying.
Yeah, it is 1.3. Did you understand how?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Sir, can you explain it again?
Which
Yes, sir,
part?
can you explain it again?
Which part? Okay, anyway.
So the whole means 10 power x equals to 20.
Okay, fine.
That one.
See, if 10 power x is equal to 20, then do you understand this step? This is the basic definition now of logarithm. If a equal to b
Yes,
power
sir.
c, then we can tell c is log a base b. Similarly, if 10 power x equal to 20, then I can tell what is that x. See, logarithms is used to find the exponent. You guys have to understand that x is nothing but log 20 to the base 10. Okay, but then how to find log 20 to the base 10? 20 is nothing but 2 into 10. So what is log AB? Log AB, can I say it is log A plus log B? Okay.
Yes, sir.
So log 2 is 0.3 and log 10 is 1. And you have addition. So therefore it is 1.3. Okay. Clear, Adrita here?
Sir,
Hmm.
sir, is there any other way that we can find the value of x without using logarithms?
At this stage, no. Of course, there are so many methods, but right now, this is a method which you know. Okay.
Okay, sir.
How will you think about it? See, because how can you think about 10 power 1.3? It's hard, na? This is 10 power 1 into 10 power 0.3. So it is hard for you to conceive what is 0.3. 10 power 0.3, it's very hard to think of, isn't it? Of course, what is 10 power 0.3? Can anyone guess?
Sir, 10 cube under the root of 10 of 10 cube.
No. What is 10 power 0.3 approximately equal to?
Sir, it can be 10 to the power 3 under the 10th root.
No, your turn is over. Wait, the others, anyone else can try? Apart from Anushrita and Pawan. What is 10 power 0.3 approximately?
Sir, 10 to the power 3 under root 13th root.
No, yaar, this you are going. How it 13 came? 3 by 10 hoga.
Oh, I thought you are talking about 10 to the power 1.3.
Sir, I got 10 to the power 3 by 10, but what after that?
Yeah, that's what I'm asking. Can anyone guess what is the approximate value of 10 power 0.3? Anyone?
Sir, 2.
Who said that?
Sir, power.
On, but I told you your turn is up, na. Anyway, you're lucky you got the right answer. See, this is 2, na, remember? Because log 2 to the base 10 is 0.3. That means 10 power 0.3 is approximately 2. You guys are understanding? So,
Sir, I thought that you were asking what is 10 to the power 3 by 10 means how we can write it.
No, I was asking what is the approximate value. Approximate value is 2. Okay. So it's fine because all of you are very new to this. So that's good actually. You are able to understand many things in 9th class itself. Quite good. Okay. So anyway, let's just get back to this question. Let me go back to the question. What is the question? Yeah. Log 2 by 3 to the base half when compared with log half to the base 2 by 3. Which is greater? Okay. See, now first of all, you tell me, think about this table I just taught. Here you can tell B is equal to how much?
Sir, 2 by 3.
2 by 3. So,
2 by 3, yes, sir.
yeah. So that value will be in between somewhere here. Isn't it? It will be between
Yes,
1 and half. Na? If B is equal to 2 by 3, then it will be between 1 and half. Can I say the answer will be between 0 and 1? So can I tell that this is a fraction? Can I say this is a fraction between 0 and 1?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. Now, very important, if this is a fraction, then what about this? Is this a fraction? Is this lesser than 1 or greater than 1? If this is lesser than 1, what can you comment about this quantity?
Sir, that will be greater than 1.
Greater than 1.
Greater than 1.
Sir, if we reciprocal it.
Wait. Srijita, can tell how?
So the same that Pavan told, because it's reciprocal is.
Yeah, because you can write this as log 2 by 3 to the base. Okay. So if this is less than 1, then this will be greater than 1. Everyone understands that. For example, 3 by 4. 3 by 4 is lesser than 1. What is the reciprocal of 3 by 4?
4 by 3.
Sir, 4 by 3.
4 by 3 is greater than 1. The logic is clear, na? So this quantity, the left hand side is lesser than 1 and the right hand side is greater than 1. So who is greater? Left hand or right hand?
Right hand side.
Right. Okay.
Okay, sir.
So therefore the answer will be option 2. Okay. Okay, understood?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. So I
So can
think
you move to the previous page?
previous page solution.
Yes, sir. Okay, sir, done.
Okay. Okay. So this looks like a good question paper. I think all of you can give one more try. Okay. Try to solve the other questions which you are not able to solve. This class you have learned something more. Try to use that and try to solve the other questions. Okay. There is some trigonometric question also. Okay. So now we'll go back to our last class topic. We were studying polynomials. So can we continue our discussion on polynomials?
Yes, sir.
So I sent some notes on polynomials. Did you guys go through it?
Yes, sir.
You must have seen many interesting things in the notes.
Sir, the notes are from IIT Foundation.
I don't remember. It was some book. I took it from some book. Okay. That is not important. Content is important. Okay. So in that notes, there are many good questions also. And the questions are also solved. So I gave that so that those of you who are more interested, you can keep solving the tougher questions. And if you have any doubts, you can ask. But as of now, we'll just continue our discussion. And actually, I thought today, if possible, we can have a glimpse of quadratic equation also. So last class, we were discussing about a very special identity, which will be very useful in future also. A cube plus B cube plus C cube minus.
So can you explain
ABC.
homogeneous expression?
Yeah, I'll come to it. So in last class, we were learning about this particular formula, and I showed 2-3 more ways of writing the same formula. And you must have seen in the paper also there are many applications based on this. So it is important that you understand this next. This can also be written as A minus B whole square plus B minus C whole square plus C minus A whole square. Okay, and last class we also observed the specialty of this part, that how this is something always positive, and if this is zero, then that implies A equal to B equal to C. I hope you remember this. We discussed this in last class.
Yes.
Yeah. So let us say in some question they say that if A, B, C are 3 distinct numbers, such that if A, B, C are 3 distinct numbers such that A cube plus B cube plus C cube by 3ABC equal to 1. Find A plus B plus C.
Sir, A plus B plus C equals to 0.
How?
Sir, if we take this brackets out, A cube plus B cube plus C cube equals to 3ABC. Minus 3ABC equals to 0. And
Is this step clear? Everyone is clear with this step? I just took 3ABC on this side and brought it back by subtracting. Okay. Which implies A plus B plus C into, I'm using the second formula, into half of A minus B square plus B minus C square plus C minus A whole square equal to 0.
Sir,
Now,
this can be possible only when one of the two identities equals to 0.
yeah, so if you're multiplying two things, this is important. Last time also I explained. If you say A into B is equal to 0, what does that mean? That means either A equal to 0 or B equal to 0 or both are 0. Okay.
So, but there are two distinct numbers, so we cannot take the third case.
Yeah, not two, all three are distinct. Because all three are distinct, so this does not equal to 0. Because if it is distinct, then A minus B is definitely something positive. This is also something positive. So if you add 3 positive numbers, it can never be 0. So in that case, the only possibility is this has to be 0. Did everyone understand this?
Yes, sir.
Did we do factor theorem, remainder theorem last time?
Can you explain the last part? So can you explain
No,
this
sir.
again?
No, sir.
No,
Okay,
sir.
okay. Fine. What Anushrita is saying? Some doubt?
Last part.
Last part, no, this you understood?
So this one only.
Oh. See, this is a square, na? A square is always greater than 0. You tell me, can a square be 0? Can you ever say that a square is 0? Can y square be equal to 0?
No, sir.
It can. If
Y
y.
equals
The
to
numbers
0.
are equal.
Number.
So similarly, a minus b whole square, can it be 0? Yes. When a minus b is equal to 0. But a minus b implies a equal to b. But here in the question they're telling that they're distinct numbers. Now this is a keyword. If they're distinct, then this is not possible. Then a minus b is either positive or negative, and a minus b whole square is definitely positive. Is this clear?
Okay, sir.
Yeah, because they're not equal, therefore a minus b whole square is positive. Okay? So that's what I said. If this is positive, this is positive, this is positive. If you add 3 positive things, then can you get 0?
No, sir.
You can. So that is what I was saying. See, you're multiplying 2 things and you're telling it is equal to 0. And this part, you know, it is definitely not 0. That means the other part has to be 0. Are you getting the logic? Somewhat? Okay. So in the notes I sent, you'll find even many variations of the same question. And then you'll have practice sheet, level 1, level 2, level 3. So it depends on your interest. How much interest you have, you can try all those questions. And I think the solutions are also mentioned.
Can you explain homogeneous expression?
Yes. But before that, I'll explain what is remainder theorem and factor theorem. Okay.
Okay, sir.
That is more important. Okay. So put heading. So in the notes also you must have seen there is division of a polynomial by another polynomial. So I'm not doing that part. Directly I'm going to. So if you divide 2 polynomials, let us say you are dividing a polynomial f of x by g of x. Then you can always write f of x is equal to g of x into q of x plus r of x. Does this look familiar? If you're dividing this with this, then we can say this statement is true. Does this look familiar? If this is the divisor and this is the, sorry, this is the divisor, this is the dividend, then can you guys tell me from where this came, this statement?
Sir, from normal division, sir, dividend equals to dividend equals to quotient plus remainder.
So you have the dividend.
The dividend equals to divisor into
Divisor into quotient plus remainder.
Quotient plus remainder.
Yeah, whatever the crowd said, same thing. Okay. So just keep this in mind because this will use for proving remainder theorem and factor theorem. Okay. Okay. So now we go to the more important remainder theorem. So what do you mean by remainder theorem? Any polynomial degree greater than or equal to 1. Of course, I sent the notes, so you can refer the notes also. I'm writing from the notes, in fact. So any polynomial whose degree is greater than or equal to 1 when divided by when divided by the linear term. By the linear term. Linear term, very interesting. Huh? Linear means the degree of this term has to be how much?
Sir, 1.
So 1.
So x minus a is the linear term. So any polynomial of degree greater than or equal to 1 when divided by the linear term x minus a. Leaves the remainder f of a where f of x is where f of x is a polynomial and a belongs to something. Okay. Okay. First and foremost, I think function is something new to all of you. All of you are very new to function. No? Do you guys know anything about function?
Sir, I did not understand this theorem, sir.
Yeah, we'll come to the theorem later. But first of all, what do you mean by function? Do you guys understand what is a function?
I don't know.
Okay. So I'll make it very interesting. You see, function is like a it's like a magic box. Not a magic box, but it's like a machine. It's like a machine which operates. It's like a mechanical machine. See, what happens in a machine, you have to give some input and then it will give some
Output.
Output.
So you feed the machine something and it will give you something out. That's how machine works. So function is like that. You throw a value at the function and the function will take it and give you some sort of output. For example, define a function f of x equal to x plus 1. Okay. Now you throw a value 1. By throw I mean you put the value 1. So what will this function do? It will take the input x equal to 1 and it will give you the output as f of
Minus 1.
No, f of 1. That means the input you're feeding is considered as the variable x. So the output will be f of 1. But here if f of x is equal to x plus 1, then f of 1 will be
Sir, 2.
1 plus 1.
2.
Okay.
Here represents function.
Yeah, f of x represents what you call as a function. Now you understand function is some sort of machine which performs some function. For example, you put 100. What will the function give you output as?
101.
101.
101.
You guys get some rough idea? Is that okay?
I know what is a
Yes,
function means in
Yeah.
programming language, sir. We read it in computer.
So can you move to the previous page?
Yes, sir, please. I
Sir,
have
can you
some.
please explain function once again?
Yeah.
I was not there.
So what is after the linear term z minus a?
X minus a. From where z came? X minus a.
Okay, sir.
Sir,
Hmm.
so can you please explain the function? I was not there.
Where were you?
Sir, my father had a call, so the connection got disturbed.
Okay, fine. I'll give one more example. So I was saying function is like a machine. You give some input, it will give some output, like computer only. In fact, computer also has many predefined functions, like your friend was telling. In computer course you must have learned there are predefined functions. Before, I don't know which language you people are learning. If you,
Sir, Java.
yeah, any language you learn, before you start writing the syntax, you define a library function. You have to put some heading by which you derive all the functions. Okay, can we go ahead?
Yes, sir.
Sir.
Yeah, I'll give more examples of functions. So now you can define anything of function, like f of x is equal to x cube, or you can say f of x is equal to root x, or you can even say f of x is equal to anything in terms of x. So we tell it is a function of x, 1 plus x power 3 by 2. Or you can also say f of x is equal to mod x to the power minus 5 whole to the power log x. You can define
Sir,
it.
so that function will perform anything the person says or the user says.
Based on how the function is defined, you get output. Okay. For example, if this is a function, then what is f of 3?
27.
7.
Now say this is the function. What is f of 2025?
Sir, 45.
Sir, 45.
45.
Suppose this is the function, then what is f of 1 by 36?
Sir, 6 root 6. 1 by 6 root 6.
Check.
It will be
Huh?
it will be 216
Yeah.
because because the 1 by and 1 by gets cancelled. It will be in a numeric form, not in a fraction.
Yeah. Not like that. See, f of 1 by 136. It will be 1 by. So instead of x, you have to put 1 by 36. 3 by 2. So this can be written as 1 by 6 whole square, whole to the power 3 by 2. And here this 2 and this 2 will get cancelled. So this will be 1 by 6 whole cube, which is actually 6 cube. 216. Okay. Now this one, last one. What is
So what is the sign in which x is?
this is mod and this is step. Okay, I think this mod. Did we discuss mod before? We did not discuss mod.
Sir, it
Yes, sir.
the value to positive.
Okay, no, forget.
Sir, we can also call it absolute.
No,
Absolute.
let us just say forget mod. Okay. So let us just say it is x power minus 5 log x. What is f of 1?
Sir, 1.
Because log 1 becomes 0. So you guys get a feel of function.
Yes, sir.
Did you get a
Yes,
little
sir.
feel of function? So now, generally polynomials are written as polynomial functions. That means the expressions, the polynomial expressions, they are expressed as functions. Okay. So you can tell every polynomial in the variable x can be written as p of x is equal to the general definition of polynomial. Let us say you have a cubic polynomial, then you can say it is ax cube plus bx square plus cx plus 2. Or let us say you have some quadratic function, quadratic polynomial. It is of the form ax square plus bx plus c.
P of x, then it became f of x, means function of x. Sir, in the above function, you wrote p of x. What is
Acha, see, okay. See, you can use any letter you want. It doesn't matter. See, this is also a function. This is also a function. You can say g of x is also a function. H of x is also a function. But then g is the function and x is the variable. This is the function and this is the variable. Okay. So as such, this is not a topic for 9th class. This functions you learn in 12th class, but it is so important that you have to learn at least the basic understanding of function.
Sir, we had a basic understanding in class 7 in sets.
Good, very good. Actually, there is something called sets, and after sets, there is something called relation. Did you have relation also? Relations.
Then mapping.
Mapping, yes, relation. And
Yes,
after
sir,
that,
we
you
had
learn
it.
function. Yeah, so actually, function is the same thing.
Sir, I did some function sums, maybe I'm not sure, when I was practicing rationalization.
Yeah, so function is also like that. A, B, C. They're basically mappings. Why are they mappings? Because this is the input and this is the output, and the function maps the input to the output. That is the understanding. Good, functions are also sort of mappings. Okay, let us not go into this discussion. It's a different type of discussion. Let us come back to polynomials. There's so much to discuss in polynomials. Okay. Okay, can we go ahead?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So let us go back to this reminder theorem. So first of all, we have to see what is the theorem saying. First of all, it is talking about division of polynomials. Division of polynomials. And as soon as you see division of polynomials, you might think, what? You can really divide polynomials? Is it possible? The answer is yes, it is possible. And how to do it? For that, you
Yes, sir.
have Horner's synthetic method. You must have seen in the note. Horner's method.
Yes, sir.
I'll teach you guys how to do it today. Don't worry. So this is also very important. Let us say the question is divide x square minus 5x plus 6 with x plus 2. Okay. See, it is just like saying divide 17 with 6. How do you divide 17 with 6? We did this 17, 6 3s are 18. You can't put 3. 2. 5. Okay. So this is how we did division. Remember? You guys remember this division? No?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
And the question you gave.
Yeah. Okay. We are going to do the same thing here. X plus 2 is the, what is this? It is a divisor. Let me write straight so that there is no x square minus 5x plus 6. Okay. Now think about it. You want to cancel things out here, right? So if you have x, then unless you multiply with another x, you cannot cancel the x square term.
Yes, sir. Sir, a remainder is left in the end.
Yeah, it's 20.
It's 20.
20. Yeah, I got it from the synthetic division method.
What is 20?
So 20 is the remainder when we divide it.
20 the remainder.
Which question?
The question that you gave just now.
Now, which you are solving.
Oh,
Yes,
this one.
sir.
Acha, acha. Remainder is 20.
Yes, sir.
How? Okay, let us see. So you take x. So x into x, it is x square. Plus 2 into x. You have to multiply the whole thing with the quotient.
Plus 2x.
Yes,
Plus
sir.
2.
Sign will change.
Signs will be opposite.
So then what happens?
Minus
Minus
7x plus
7x.
6.
Yeah, minus 7x plus 6. So then we have to multiply with
Minus 7.
Plus 7.
So the question is
So
So then minus 7x
7x minus 14.
14.
Sir, if we do it with factorization,
Yeah, I did it, but it will be a bit complicated in this situation.
Yeah, so then adding 14 and 6, we will get 20 as remainder.
Good. So this is called as Horner's method, or it is also called as a synthetic division method. Synthetic.
So why is it called synthetic?
I don't know, yeah. I didn't name it now. At least I don't know why it's called synthetic. I don't know why it's called Horner's also. Okay, don't ask.
Maybe like a person named Horner invented this method.
Maybe.
Horner is understood that a person named Horner, but why is synthetic?
Yes, so why?
That is not the.
maybe that person who discovered this method also likes synthetic.
Yeah. See, that is not. This is not history class. This is maths. You can ask your history teachers. So this is the way of reminding polynomials. Sorry, this is the way of dividing polynomials. Okay. Should we do one more problem, or is it good enough? You think, sir, it's too easy?
Sir, one more.
One more, sir.
Okay. Okay, do this. See, you guys are telling the answer is 20. Did you guys say the answer is 20 last time? No? Actually, you are not supposed to say the answer is 20. You're supposed to say
Sir, the remainder is 20. The answer is x minus 7.
yeah.
Yes, sir.
The answer is x minus 7. Because if you see, this is important. You are dividing a quadratic expression with a linear expression. So your answer should be a linear expression. Do you guys understand the logic? Can someone explain
Yes, sir.
why? Why? Because if
Sir,
this, wait, because unless this is linear, plus some reminder. Okay. Yeah. See, because if you want to get x square, once you multiply it on the other side, this is already x power 1. So here also you should have one x power 1 term. And when you multiply this x power 1 with x power 1, only then you can get x square term. You get the logic. So if you're dividing a quadratic with linear, the answer will be linear. But in this case, you're dividing a cubic with linear. So the answer will be
Quadratic.
quadratic. Good. What is
Sir,
the
x square minus 2.
X square
2x.
Square minus 2.
X square minus 2s.
Yeah, good. Everyone got it?
Yes, sir.
So I got x square plus x minus 2 plus 2.
So minus 2 plus 2 is 0, no?
Yes, sir. Means x square plus x.
X square plus x.
Yes, sir.
Just check. You must have done a small calculation mistake.
Sir, we can do it with factorization method. This one.
Yeah, you can do in many ways. So I think 2 examples are good enough. Can we go ahead?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now we'll go to reminder theorem.
Yes, sir.
So what is reminder theorem telling? Reminder theorem is telling any polynomial when divided by the linear term x minus a leaves the remainder f of a. How shocking. We are working so hard drawing the entire synthetic table chart, putting so much effort, multiplying one term, doing so much mehnat, and we got 20. But this person is telling, my dear friends, don't do all this hard work, don't labor so hard. He's telling if you're dividing by x minus a, the answer will be f of a. How shocking. Before we go into proof, let us see if what he's saying is true or false. Okay, let us verify it with this question, because if it's not true, then we don't want to look into it. You're dividing x square minus 5x plus 6 with x plus 2. Very unfortunate, because the theorem is talking about dividing with x minus a. But here, unfortunately, we have x plus 2. So, can't we do anything?
Sir, x minus minus
Sir,
2
yes,
like
sir.
that.
X minus minus 2.
Yes. Srijita to the rescue. We can say a equal to minus 2. So now this fellow is telling the remainder of this. If you're asked to find only the remainder, okay, remember the remainder, then you can tell that the remainder is f of minus 2. Now all of you try to find what is f of minus 2. Ashwant should tell me. What is f of minus 2? What is, see, f of x, what is f of x? F of x equal to x square minus 5x plus 6. If f of x is equal to x square minus 5x plus 6.
So 20.
Did you get it?
Sir, it's a reminder 20.
Yeah.
is 20.
F of minus 2 will be minus 2 square
2 whole square.
minus 5 into minus 2 plus 6. Which is 4 plus 10 plus.
10 plus 6.
It's a reminder.
Yes. That's why
Yes, sir, the remainder.
that's why it's called remainder theorem. Because using this trick, you can get the remainder very quickly. Very nice, na? Did you like it?
Yes, sir.
Sir,
Good.
this helps us.
Uh-huh.
Sir, this helps us while exams and reduces
Yes.
our.
Sir, from x plus 2, how did we get the function of a?
That's what, na? It should be of the form of, see, the function is not, has nothing to do with x plus 2. This is the function. This function is being divided by a linear term. What is that linear term? X minus of minus 2. Get it? A function is being divided by, polynomial function is divided by a linear term x minus 2, minus of minus 2. Therefore, the remainder theorem is telling the remainder will be f of minus 2. Did you understand?
Yes. X minus a. I understand.
Yeah. I didn't say. That fellow said.
Property is good.
Yeah. Okay. Now you see, even though it appears like Harry Potter magic or something, there's really not much magic in it. Because if you look at the derivation, the derivation, from the derivation you can tell f of x is always equal to, I'm sorry, let us say you're dividing it with some linear term L of x. Yeah, let us say you're dividing with some linear term x minus a. This is what the theorem said. And let us say the quotient is something which is a function. This is a very important step. And let us say the remainder is some other function. Okay. See, can anyone explain why I am writing quotient also as a function, remainder also as a function? See, because quotient is also in terms of x. You guys understand, na? This is also some function of x, isn't it?
Sir.
But it is not the same function.
Yes.
Yes,
it
sir.
is not the same function. So we're using a different name, q of x. Now do you understand why we have different letters? So that you can define different functions. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
But now, even more surprising, sometimes the remainder can also be in terms of x. It is true, because if you don't divide further, then the remainder will be in terms of x. Especially, see, if this has a degree of, let us say this has a degree of 2, this has a degree 1, this has a degree 1, then this will be some constant term. Do you agree?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Anyway, see, maybe let us not discuss that part, but let us keep it very simple. Let's keep it as simple as possible. You guys understand that q of x is also some polynomial, and I'm defining the remainder also as a function of x. Okay, just to
Yes,
make
sir.
life very easy. Now,
Yes, sir.
if f of x is this, what is f of a? F of a is equal to a minus a into something plus remainder. Is that clear? What does it mean?
F of A is remainder.
Then f of a is remainder. Because a minus a is 0 something.
Therefore, the remainder is f of a. You guys understand?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
From
Yeah.
above property, can we get the quotient?
Can you get the quotient?
Sir.
Yeah, the quotient will be f of x minus f of a by x minus a. You'll have to divide these two. Then you do synthetic division with these two. Okay?
That's again same easy process. I was just asking like how we the way like we found the remainder. I was asking like can we find that quotient like the same way?
No. Okay. See, this is very useful. Now, if you understood this very well, did everyone understand this very well?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Very-
sir.
Really well?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
100% confident?
Sir, we are ready for
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Then we can go to factor. And factor theorem is more or less you can say it is a corollary. Remember, we already used this word before.
the logarithms.
No, not logarithms. Corollary. You remember?
It sets.
Yeah, not just sets. Corollary means anything which is a consequence of the first theorem. If you can tell something from the first theorem, you can derive another theorem, a sub-theorem or something. You can say that sub-theorem is a corollary. So you can tell factor theorem is a sort of corollary of remainder theorem.
And that corollary is enough to prove something.
No, corollary, that's not what it means. It means that if statement A is true, then if from statement A you can also say B is also true, then we say B is a corollary of A. Get it, na? Like if I say Pawan Satvik is the topper of class 9th, then you can also say that Pawan Satvik belongs to class 9. Something like that, you understand?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Something like that, close to that. Okay. So now what does factor theorem say? Factor theorem states same thing, you know? If a polynomial function, if a polynomial function f of x, when divided by x minus a, gives a remainder 0, then we can say that x minus a is a factor. Is a factor of
Function x, I think.
f of. Okay. So it's like this. When you divide 12 with 6, the remainder is 0. Isn't it? 12 by 6. What is the remainder of 12 by 6? 0.
That's 0.
0.
So what do we say from that? We say therefore 6 is a factor of 12.
Factor of 12.
Same thing. If you are dividing f of x with x minus a and the remainder is 0, then we can say f of x minus a is a factor of f of x. Or in other words, the same theorem I can simply write mathematically. If f of a equal to 0, that implies x minus a is a factor. Did you understand this statement?
Yes, sir.
Why? Because the remainder is always of f of a when you divide by x minus a. So if f of a is 0, then we can say x minus a is a factor. Okay.
It exactly divides.
Yes, good. It implies x minus a exactly.
Divides f of function of x.
Yeah, it divides f of x. Okay.
Sir, I didn't see anything.
Yes.
I thought question was 4. That's why I could not hear anything.
Uh-huh.
You were quiet for a long time. I thought my connection became poor again.
Okay. Okay. So I think we'll end the class with a question. Okay.
Sir, homework or classwork?
Classwork only. Homework is to think about log 7, meditate on log 7, dream about log 7, and achieve log 7. Tell me what is the value of log 7. Okay. Do you guys know what HCF means? HCF?
The highest
Yes,
common
sir.
factor.
The highest common factor.
Highest common factor.
LCM?
Lowest common
factor.
Lowest common divisor.
Not just the full form, but you people understand what it means.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
We'll end with a tough question. Not very tough. At least your seniors were able to do it. I gave this question in 10th class. They did it in 2-3 minutes. Let's see how you guys are faring. Okay. The HCF of the polynomials. The HCF of the polynomials. Oh, I think it is already 8 o'clock, na? Is it already 8 o'clock?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So should we do in next class or should we stop?
Sir, we should leave the meeting or end the meeting.
I should end the meeting immediately.
No, sir, we should complete this question and after that.
Okay, whatever you say. I'm bound to follow your instructions. The HCF of the polynomials x square minus 4x plus 4 into x plus 3 and x square plus 2x minus 3 into x minus 2 is dash. Should I give options?
No, sir.
Maybe I'll give. I'm not actually bound to do whatever you say. X plus 3, x minus 2, x plus 3 into x minus 2, and x plus 2.
Sir, can I answer?
Oh,
Sir, x plus 3.
okay. I have noted your answer. Okay. Now let us see what the others say. Don't change your answer. Okay.
Okay, sir. Sir, I committed a mistake, sir, but I will not change my answer.
Sir, my answer is C.
Let's see. Okay.
Did you hear my answer?
Hmm?
Did you hear?
Yeah, I heard your answer. Clear and loud.
Sir, the answer is C.
Okay. Okay, so many of you have responded. Let us go to the solution. So there are many ways of doing this again, but since we just did factor theorem, reminded theorem, I'm going to use factor theorem. Why? Because HCF means highest common factor. So I want to find the factors of this polynomials. Okay. Now, if we divide both the remainder of the polynomial. Okay. See, the first polynomial, let us say the first polynomial is P of X. Okay. So from this, see, what is P of 2? If you put P of 2, you get 4 minus 8 plus 4 into 5, which is 0, because this is 0. And similarly, if you put P of minus 3, what do you get? You get something into minus 3 plus 3, which is again 0. Therefore, can I say P of X has two factors, X plus 3 and X plus 2. Now, if you know two factors and you want to find the third factor, how do you do it? What is the remaining term? For that, you can use synthetic division. You guys understand synthetic division? We just learned it. So you multiply both of this, you get x square plus 5x plus 6. See, of course, the way I'm doing it, some of you might be thinking, sir, why are you thinking so much? It is so clear and all this. But I'm just showing you the standard process by which you can solve other questions also. And if you multiply these two things, you actually get a cubic polynomial. You get some sort of cubic polynomial. And after you divide both of this, you'll find that the remainder is x minus 2. This is also minus 2 actually. Yeah, this is minus 2, then this also becomes minus 6 and this becomes minus 2. I'm sorry for that mistake. See, if P of 2 is 0, then x minus 2 is a factor, remember. Okay. So that means when you divide x square minus 5x plus 6, if you divide this cubic polynomial with x minus 2, you'll get that quotient is x minus 2 and further you'll get the remainder is 0. So that means you can express the first polynomial as the product of these three things. Can I say this is x minus 2 whole square into x plus 3? Okay. Now if you adopt the similar process for this, you can factorize this as x minus 1. Why? Because if you put 1, you get 1 plus 2 minus 3, which is 0. So x minus 1 is a factor. And similarly, x minus x plus 3. If you put minus 3, what do you get? 9 minus 6 minus 3, which is also 0. So therefore, we can say 1 and 3 are also factors. Now, if you remember the definition of HCF, HCF means highest common factor. What are the common factors between both of these polynomials? 1x minus 2 is common and x plus 3 is.
And sir, x plus 3.
Therefore, the HCF of both these terms is x plus 3 into x minus 2. Is that okay?
Sir, I just factorized the first one, so first terms, and then I got the answer, the common one.
Yeah. Good.
So can you explain the part of the synthetic division again?
Synthetic, nothing to explain. You just divide whatever you got. We got that x plus 3 and x minus 2 are factors. So if you divide the entire expression with its factors, you get the remaining factor. Did not understand?
Yes.
when you divide this thing with x minus 2 and x plus 3, whatever you get is called the quotient. Na? Do you understand? So on simplifying that, you'll see that it is also x minus 2. Actually, you can see here itself. These two will cancel out. And this term is actually x minus 2 whole square. So the quotient will be x minus 2. So this will be
It's fine.
okay.
Okay, sir.
So everyone is clear till here?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So maybe then I'll send some. Should I send some more? Should I send some more notes and assignment or is it previous one?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Sir, you gave us, sir. We can. You have to. When we have to submit the.
When you have to submit the assignment.
Submit the value of log 7.
Whenever you're able to think about it, you let me know. It's not an assignment, it's just like a try it if you can sort of question.
Okay, sir.
Okay, sir.
Okay. So then
Yes, sir.
maybe I'll put one more set of notes and questions in this WhatsApp group. Okay.
Okay,
Sir, I
sir.
cannot hear you.
And
Sir, are you saying something?
no, wait. Should I give some assignment? I'm just thinking if I should give assignment. Okay. Should I give assignment or are you feeling too loaded? How are you guys feeling? Do you have too much work? Because now you have to find log 7, you have to do logarithm question paper, biology, chemistry. Or
Sir, you can
No,
send
sir.
assignments. You can send assignment.
you guys
From
will,
Sir, you can, sir.
if I give 1 week time, will you guys be able to do in 3-4 days? I'll give around 30 questions. Is that okay?
Yes, sir.
Sir, you are not clear.
Sir, I can't hear you, sir.
Yeah, I said I'll give 30 questions. Will you guys submit
Yes,
it
sir.
in writing?
Yes, sir. The time will be needed, I guess.
Yes,
Sir,
sir,
type.
we need some time.
We need some time.
How many days?
Yes, sir.
So,
So
5
at least,
will be enough.
Sir,
at
5
least
days.
4 days.
At least 5 days. Yeah, 54, 5.
Yeah.
Sir, 4 days. Or max 5.
Max 5 years.
Try to submit by
5
Saturday.
days.
Okay, you can submit it by Saturday.
So Saturday?
Mhm.
Okay, sir.
Okay, sir.
Sir, can you please repeat? I couldn't hear you.
Nothing said. I'll give assignment, submit by Saturday.
Okay. Yes, sir.
Okay, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you,
Thank you,
sir.
sir.